think you're weak? That's exactly what they want you to believe. They want you to doubt yourself, to feel small, to think you're not enough. They want you broken, defeated, just another face in the crowd, because weak people are easier to control. But let me tell you something. The fact that you're still here, breathing, fighting, means you're stronger than you even realize. You've survived every dark night, every betrayal, every failure that was supposed to destroy you. You've been through hell, and yet you're still standing. They don't see the battles you fight every day. They don't know the weight you carry. They don't understand the silent wars inside your mind. But I do. And today, I'm going to show you the truth. You are not weak. You never were. You're stronger than you think. By the end of this video, you won't just believe it, you'll feel it in your bones. Now listen carefully, because this might be the most important thing you hear today. Strength isn't about how much you lift. It's about how much you can endure without breaking. And whether you realize it or not, you've already proved your strength in ways you don't even see. But you don't feel strong, do you? Maybe because life hasn't rewarded you for your struggles. Maybe because no one has ever told you you're tougher than you think. Maybe because the world only recognizes strength when it looks a certain way. Loud, aggressive, fearless. But that's a lie. They tell you strong people don't feel pain. They tell you strong people never doubt themselves. They tell you strength means never being afraid. But real strength, it's silent. It's the kind that grows in the dark when no one is watching. It's the kind that keeps going, even when everything inside screams to stop. Think about it. How many times have you wanted to quit but didn't? How many times have you fought battles no one knew about? How many times have you suffered alone, yet still woke up the next day and kept moving? That's not weakness, that's strength. The problem is, you've been too busy surviving to realize it. So today, we're going to change that. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 10 undeniable signs that prove you are far stronger than you think. Signs that most people ignore because they've been conditioned to believe that strength only looks a certain way. But once you recognize these signs in yourself, something will shift. The way you see yourself, the way you carry yourself, the way you handle your struggles, it will all change. Because you'll no longer doubt your power. You'll no longer believe the lies that tell you you're not enough. So listen carefully. If you've ever felt lost, broken, or weak, this might be the most important video you watch. Because by the end of it, you won't just know you're strong, you'll feel it in your bones. They said you wouldn't make it. They laughed when you started. They told you to be realistic, to stop wasting your time, to accept that some dreams just aren't meant for people like you. But you kept going. You kept fighting, even when the world gave you every reason to quit. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you strong. Because the truth is, most people can't handle walking alone. They need approval. They need someone to tell them they're on the right path. But you've walked through the fire without anyone holding your hand. You fought battles in silence, and that kind of strength, it's rare. Imagine this. A young artist spends years perfecting his craft. Every day he paints, writes, creates. But no one notices. No one cares. His family tells him to get a real job. His friends mock his ambition. He posts his work online. And the response? Silence. Most people would give up, but not him. Because deep down, he knows something they don't. Greatness isn't built in the spotlight. It's forged in the dark, in the moments when no one is clapping for you. You've been there, haven't you? Working towards something no one else understands. Fighting for a future that only exists in your mind. Feeling the weight of doubt, your own and everyone else's. And yet, you refuse to quit. Why? Because true strength isn't found in validation. It's found in resilience. Most people chase approval. They need to be seen, acknowledged, supported. And when they don't get it, they stop. But the strongest people, they don't wait for permission to chase their dreams. They don't need anyone to believe in them, because they believe in themselves. This is what separates the weak from the strong. Weak people need encouragement to keep going. Strong people keep going even when all they hear is doubt. And you've kept going. You've stayed in the fight. And that alone proves your strength. Think about history's greatest legends: Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Nikola Tesla. They were all doubted, laughed at, rejected. But they understood a secret most people never learn. If you wait for the world to believe in you, you'll die waiting. So they stopped waiting. They moved forward. They built. They created. They changed the world, alone, if they had to. And now, so will you. Because here's the truth. You don't need anyone to validate you. The strongest people move forward even when they're the only ones walking. Rejection. It's the moment that separates the weak from the strong. Most people take rejection as a sign to stop, to turn back, to believe the lie that they're not good enough. But you didn't quit. You kept going, even when the doors slammed in your face. Even when they told you you're not what we're looking for. Even when it felt like the whole world was telling you no. And that is what makes you powerful. Because rejection isn't failure, it's redirection. Let me tell you something. Everyone gets rejected. Everyone. The difference is, only the strong turn it into fuel. J.K. Rowling, rejected by 12 publishers before someone finally took a chance on Harry Potter. Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah, fired from her first job because they said she wasn't fit for television. Imagine if they had stopped there. Imagine if they had let rejection define them. The world would never have known their names. But they didn't break. They sharpened their swords. Rejection doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means life is testing you. It's asking, how bad do you really want this? Are you willing to suffer for it? Weak people take rejection as a final answer. They see a closed door and walk away. But strong people, they knock again and again and again. And if no one opens the door, they build their own. Every rejection you've faced has been shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you for something bigger. You just couldn't see it at the time. Most people see rejection as a personal attack. They think, maybe I'm just not good enough. But that's the wrong mindset. Here's how strong people see rejection. Rejection is proof you're trying. Most people never even put themselves in a position to be rejected. The fact that you faced rejection means you had the courage to chase something bigger than yourself. Rejection forces you to improve. Every time you get rejected, you have two choices: give up or get better. The strong choose the second option. Rejection is just a detour, not a dead end. Sometimes rejection is the universe pushing you towards something even greater, a better opportunity, a bigger stage, a path you never would have found if you hadn't been forced to keep moving. Most people never recover from rejection. One failure, and they're done. They let their dreams rot. But you refused to break. You stood up. You kept going. And that alone makes you stronger than 99% of people. So the next time someone rejects you, remember this: weak people break after rejection. Strong people sharpen their swords. And you've been sharpening yours all along. Most people spend their whole lives holding on, clinging to toxic relationships, dead-end jobs, fake friendships. They stay because they're afraid of being alone, afraid of change, afraid of the unknown. But not you. Because you understand something most people don't. Walking away isn't weakness, it's power. Letting go takes more strength than holding on. Anyone can stay. Anyone can tolerate misery, swallow their pain, and pretend everything is fine. But to stand up, turn your back, and walk away, that takes courage. It takes courage to leave a relationship that's draining you, even when you still love them. It takes courage to quit a job that's destroying your soul, even when you need the money. It takes courage to cut off fake friends, even when you fear being alone. And you've done it. Or at the very least, you've thought about it. You've felt that voice inside you whispering, you deserve better. And instead of silencing it, you listened. That is strength. Weak people hold on, even when it's killing them. They stay in situations that suffocate them because the pain of leaving feels worse than the pain of staying. But here's the truth. Holding on to something that's destroying you isn't strength. It's fear. Think about it. How many people do you know who stay in toxic relationships because they're scared of being alone? How many people hate their jobs but never leave because they fear uncertainty? How many people surround themselves with fake friends just because they don't want to feel left out? They tell themselves, maybe it'll get better. Maybe this is just how life is. But deep down, they know the truth. They're just too scared to face it. It's easy to beg for someone to love you. It's easy to stay in a situation that's familiar, even if it's killing you. But it takes real strength to say, I deserve more than this, and walk away with your head held high. Think about it. Every time you've walked away from something toxic, painful, or unworthy of you, you weren't just letting go. You were proving your strength. When you walked away from that person who didn't respect you, you proved you weren't desperate for love. When you quit that job that made you miserable, you proved you valued your worth over a paycheck. When you cut off fake friends, you proved you'd rather be alone than surrounded by people who don't care about you. That's not weakness. That's power. The world tells you to endure, to tolerate, to settle. Society glorifies the idea of sticking it out no matter what. But what they don't tell you is that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away. Because when you walk away, you're telling the world, I won't be disrespected. I won't be undervalued. I won't stay where I am not appreciated. And that's why a weak person clings to what's killing them. But a strong person, they know when to walk away. And you're one of the strong ones. Pain. It's the one thing that separates the strong from the weak. Weak people stop when they feel it. They let it break them. But strong people, they keep moving forward, even when it hurts, even when they're exhausted, even when every step feels like walking through fire, because they understand something most people don't. Pain is temporary. Quitting is forever. Imagine a boxer in the ring. Every punch knocks him down. Every hit leaves him battered, bruised, and barely breathing. The crowd expects him to stay down. The referee starts counting. But just before the final second, he gets up. Again, and again, and again. That's you. Life has thrown punches at you. Loss, failure, heartbreak, rejection. You've been knocked down more times than you can count. But what did you do? You got up. That is what strength looks like. Not pretending you don't feel the pain. Not acting like everything is fine when it's not. But getting up and pushing forward, even when it feels like you have nothing left. Most people fear pain. They think it's a sign they should stop. But here's the truth. Pain doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're growing. A muscle only grows when it's torn apart and rebuilt. A diamond only forms under extreme pressure. A warrior is only made through battle. If you're feeling pain, it means you're still in the fight. It means you haven't given up. And that's what makes you stronger than most. Look around. How many people do you know who gave up when things got hard? How many people had dreams but let them die because they couldn't handle the struggle? Now think about the ones who made it, the ones who succeeded, the ones who changed their lives. They weren't the smartest. They weren't the luckiest. They were the ones who refused to quit. Michael Jordan missed over 9,000 shots in his career. Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Sylvester Stallone was rejected 1,500 times before selling the script for Rocky. They all had one thing in common. They kept moving forward, even when it hurt. You've been through things that would have broken most people. You've faced pain, loss, and failure. But instead of letting it destroy you, you pushed through it. That is what makes you strong. Because anyone can keep going when things are easy. Anyone can stay motivated when life is good. But only the strongest keep moving forward when everything inside them is screaming to stop. So if you're hurting right now, remember this. The pain is temporary. The struggle is temporary. But quitting, that lasts forever. And as long as you keep going, as long as you refuse to stay down, you will win. Because pain is a sign of progress. If you feel it, it means you're still in the fight. And as long as you're in the fight, you haven't lost. Most people are slaves to their emotions. They let anger, fear, jealousy, and frustration dictate their actions. When something goes wrong, they explode. When someone offends them, they react without thinking. They're controlled by their feelings instead of controlling them. But not you, because you understand that real strength isn't about having no emotions. It's about mastering them. Picture two people in a heated argument. One of them is screaming, cursing, throwing punches. The other stands still, silent, eyes sharp as a blade. Who looks stronger? The world has taught people that expressing every emotion makes them real and authentic. But in reality, losing control makes you weak. A fool lets their anger push them into stupid decisions. A fool lets fear stop them from taking action. A fool lets jealousy poison their mind. But a warrior stays calm while planning their next move. Think about history's greatest warriors, leaders, and strategists. They didn't rise to power by reacting emotionally to everything. They rose because they knew how to control their minds. Julius Caesar didn't panic when enemies surrounded him. He strategized and conquered. Bruce Lee didn't let insults provoke him. He stayed composed and let his skills do the talking. Nelson Mandela didn't let anger consume him after decades in prison. He used his pain to inspire a movement. Emotional control is what separates the average from the elite. Let's get real. There will always be people who try to get under your skin. Haters, backstabbers, liars. They want to see you react. They want to control you. But when you refuse to react, when you stay calm, when you keep your emotions in check, you take away their power. When someone insults you, don't engage, smile, and walk away. When life hits you with failure, don't panic, analyze, adjust, and try again. When someone betrays you, don't waste energy on revenge. Use that energy to level up your life. Weak people let emotions dictate their actions. Strong people stay focused, disciplined, and in control. Most people don't even realize how much their emotions control them. They get mad at small things. They let fear stop them from taking risks. They make impulsive choices and regret them later. But you've learned to control yourself. You've mastered the art of staying calm under pressure. And that is a rare kind of strength. Because when you control your emotions, no one can control you. So remember, a fool lets their anger control them. A warrior stays calm while planning their next move. And you are the warrior. Most people live their lives avoiding pain, struggle, and discomfort. They stay in their comfort zones because it's safe, predictable, easy. But you don't choose easy, you choose growth. Because deep down, you know the truth. Comfort is a trap. If you want to be powerful, step into the fire and let it forge you. Weak people look for the easy way out. They avoid difficulty at all costs. They stay in dead-end jobs because finding a new one is hard. They avoid the gym because working out is painful. They refuse to learn new skills because failing feels uncomfortable. They tell themselves, "I'll start tomorrow," but tomorrow never comes. They waste their lives running from struggle, never realizing that the struggle is what makes you strong. Look at the most powerful, successful people in the world. They weren't born stronger than you. They weren't given some secret advantage. The only difference? They embraced discomfort. Elon Musk slept on his office floor and worked 100-hour weeks to build his empire. Michael Jordan trained harder than anyone, even after being cut from his high school team. David Goggins ran on broken legs just to prove his mind was stronger than his body. They understood something most people don't. Growth only happens when you step outside your comfort zone. Every time you face something hard, pain, failure, rejection, you have two choices: run from it or use it to grow. Pain in the gym builds muscle. Pain in failure builds resilience. pain and rejection builds mental toughness. If you avoid pain, you stay the same. But if you embrace it, you become unstoppable. Think about the hardest moments of your life, the times when everything felt impossible, the moments when quitting seemed like the easiest option. But you didn't quit. You faced the fire, you let the pain shape you, and because of that, you're stronger than 99% of people. Most will never push themselves beyond what's comfortable. But you choose growth over comfort, every time. So the next time life gives you an easy way out, remember this. Comfort is a trap. Step into the fire and let it forge you. Rock bottom, the place where everything feels hopeless, where the world turns its back on you and you're left with nothing but your own demons. Most people break when they get there. They let the darkness consume them. They stay down, but not you, because you did something most people can't. You got back up. Pain has two paths. It either destroys you or it transforms you. And the strongest people? They use their darkest moments to build themselves into something unbreakable. Think about the legends who started from nothing. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first TV job and told she wasn't fit for television. Now she's one of the most powerful media figures in the world. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers, living in poverty as a single mother before Harry Potter changed her life. Robert Downey Jr. went from addiction and prison to becoming one of Hollywood's biggest stars. What do they all have in common? They hit rock bottom, but they didn't stay there. When you have nothing left to lose, you gain something priceless: clarity. Suddenly, the things that don't matter disappear. The fake friends, the meaningless distractions, the excuses, they all fade away. And for the first time, you see yourself for who you really are. That's why rock bottom is where the strongest warriors are made. Because when you have no choice but to rebuild yourself from the ground up, you realize something powerful. Everything you need is already inside you. The human mind is wired for survival. No matter how deep you fall, there's always a part of you that refuses to give up. That's why people who hit rock bottom and keep fighting come out stronger than ever. They become fearless because they've already faced their worst nightmare. They become disciplined because they know what it's like to lose everything. They become unstoppable because they've already survived the impossible. The weak crumble under pressure. The strong use it to rise. You've been to the edge. You've stared into the abyss. You've felt the weight of the world trying to crush you. But here's the proof of your strength. You didn't stay there. You fought. You climbed. You rebuilt. And now, no matter what life throws at you, you know one thing for sure: nothing can break you. So if you've hit rock bottom, congratulations. That's where the strongest warriors are made. Weak people have one thing in common: excuses. They blame their parents. They blame the government. They blame their past, their bad luck, their circumstances, anything but themselves. They live as victims, waiting for someone to save them. But strong people, they don't wait. They take control. Because deep down they understand one simple truth: no one is coming to save you. Life is unfair. Bad things happen. You can't control everything. But you can always control how you respond. Two people can face the same hardship. One stays broken, the other rises stronger. The difference? Mindset. A weak person says, "I'm broke because of the economy." A strong person says, "I'll find a way to make money no matter what." A weak person says, "I can't succeed because no one supports me." A strong person says, "I don't need anyone's approval to win." A weak person says, "It's not my fault." A strong person says, "Maybe it's not my fault, but it's still my responsibility." Blaming others feels good in the moment. It removes guilt. But in the end, it makes you powerless. Taking responsibility, that makes you dangerous. When you own your mistakes, your failures, and your future, you take back control. Think about the most powerful people in history. They didn't sit around crying about unfairness. They adapted. They made a way. Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the company he built. Instead of playing the victim, he came back and turned it into a global empire. Arnold Schwarzenegger grew up in poverty, but instead of blaming his circumstances, he worked harder than everyone and became a champion. Malcolm X didn't let prison define him. He educated himself, changed his mindset, and became a leader. No one handed them power. They took it. If you want to be unstoppable, you have to eliminate excuses from your life. Stop waiting for motivation. Act, even when you don't feel like it. Stop blaming the past. Use it as fuel to get stronger. Stop seeking approval. Trust yourself and move forward. You don't control where you start in life, but you damn sure control where you go from here. Look at the people around you. Most of them are still blaming someone else for their problems. They stay stuck because they refuse to take control. But you refuse to be a victim. You take responsibility for your actions, your mindset, your growth, and that makes you more powerful than 99% of people. So remember, you are either the master of your fate or the slave of your excuses. Choose. If there's one thing that separates the weak from the strong, the failures from the champions, the forgotten from the legends, it's this: the strong never quit. Most people fold when life gets tough. They chase their dreams for a little while, but the moment things get difficult, they give up. They tell themselves, maybe this isn't for me. They settle, they walk away, and they spend the rest of their lives wondering what if. But you are different. Because no matter how hard life hits you, no matter how many times you fall, you refuse to stay down. True strength is not about how fast you win. It's about never stopping until you do. The strongest people in history weren't the most talented, the smartest, or the luckiest. They were the most relentless. Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Most people would have quit after 100 attempts. Sylvester Stallone was rejected by over 1,500 casting agents before Rocky made him a superstar. He could have given up after 10, but he didn't. Colonel Sanders was told no 1,009 times before someone finally believed in KFC. Imagine if he had quit at 1,008. They were not superhumans. They just refused to give up. And that's what made them unstoppable. Most people quit because they expect success to be fast and easy. They try for a few months, and when they don't see results, they give up. They face one rejection and decide they're not good enough. They hit one obstacle and assume it's not meant to be. But real success doesn't work that way. It's a war, a battle between you and your own mind. And the moment you choose to keep going, no matter what, that's when you become truly powerful. If you're struggling right now, if you're tired, if you feel like giving up, good. That means you're in the fight. That means you're pushing beyond what most people are willing to endure. And that means you're closer than you think. Weak people quit when it gets hard. You keep going. Weak people let failure define them. You use it as fuel. Weak people stop when they feel pain. You push through it. And that's why you are stronger than you think. The world will tell you to quit. It will try to break you. It will throw obstacles in your way and wait for you to fall. But every time you refuse to stop, every time you take one more step forward, you prove them all wrong. Strength isn't about how fast you win. It's about never stopping until you do. And if you refuse to give up, nothing in this world can stop you. Strength isn't about how much muscle you have. It's not about how fearless you are. It's not about looking tough on the outside. Real strength is what happens when no one is watching. It's the battles you fight in silence. The times you got back up when life knocked you down. The moments you kept going when every part of you wanted to quit. And if you recognized even one of these signs in yourself, congratulations, you are already stronger than you know. You refuse to be a victim. You fight even when no one believes in you. You've been rejected, but you didn't break. You walk away from what doesn't serve you. You keep moving forward even when it hurts. You control your emotions instead of letting them control you. You choose growth over comfort. You've hit rock bottom, but you didn't stay there. You take full responsibility for your life, and most importantly, you refuse to give up. That's what makes you powerful. Most people will never realize their strength because they let the world convince them they're weak. But not you. You know the truth now. And the next time life tries to break you, you'll remember. You don't break. You rise. Now, it's time to prove it. If you're ready to become unstoppable, watch the next video now. Because this journey isn't over. It's just getting started. Only the strong keep pushing forward. Are you one of them? Click now and let's find out.